everyone. Welcome to another episode of RateOrRoast MyRig. If you like to get roasted and you want to see your rig on the show, feel free to shoot me a photo using the link down below in the description. And with that, let's just jump into it, shall we? Starting off again with some PVs. We have a PV Pacer. I don't know if I've ever even heard of a Pacer, to be totally honest with you. An original Bandit 112 and a combo 300 bass amp. This is this is my childhood in a single photo, amp wise. 80s PVs that you can find cheap. They're reliable. They sound awesome. I believe the Pacer is a cousin of the Mace, if I'm not mistaken. Someone correct me in the comments. But the Pacer is like an early 80s PV amp, and the rest of these guys are like a mid to late 80s amps, and they're awesome. Classic PV. Literally, I mean, there's not much to this rig. I would say the carpet's nice, and it looks like it's a nice corner that they're in. As far as the combos go, you know, they're cool, right in the middle of the road, and thusly, they get 3 out of 5 beards. Ha! Look at that. Look, this is, again, I know I've said this before, I can smell this room. We have an orange and then we have a green Mad Amp. Oh man, with some Electrical Guitar Company guitars and an extremely tidy pedal board. Okay, so you're like the most organized stoner I've ever seen, or you just really, really enjoy organizing your pedal board or something. I don't know. Look at those, are those 612 cabs? This is nasty. Real talk, this is, I don't know, man. This is probably some of this is one of my favorite rigs I've ever seen on the show. Real talk. Because it's in the correct environment, right? So this isn't in some mansion, but it's in some dingy practice space. There's probably bong water stains on the carpet. However, this player respects the craft and the tools that it takes to make the music that he wants to make. Each one of those guitars is like $4 grand, right? So just excluding everything else, like that's commitment. This photo says commitment to me as a fellow musician. Respect. So sick. And I love the middle finger drawing between the two amps. Nevertheless, you know what? This is my show. 5 out of 5 beards. I love it. Okay, yeah, I guess we're just following the theme here. We have an EVH Epiphone Explorer. This actually reminds me a lot of Vic from Pierce the Veil's guitar. And we played with him because he did the same thing to his Explorer. I love the block inlays on the Explorers. We also have a 70s Gibson SG Custom with a custom pick guard cut out and some nods. That's cool. We have a giant Sun cab. And then we have a new production. Basically, it's a clone of a Beta Lead, I believe, right? And this is from Bison Design. Yeah, the Beta Amplifier 200. Super, super sick. Fender Power Amp, or a Fender Power Conditioner. I mean, what more do you need? It's at the base of some stairs. This is someone's lovely corner. And I love the flowers on the front of the cabinet. Epiphone and Gibson, I mean, you can't go wrong. It's odd that the Gibson RD has Fishman fluences in it. Kind of wild, but you know what? If that's what works for you, that's what works for you. Also, I guess those are AMGs in the Explorer, so okay, that kind of makes sense. It's a cool rig. You know what? I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 beards. Now this rig, I mean, listen, after a long day's work, you're gonna come home, and this is really the epitome of modern guitar playing and technology, isn't it? You're gonna plug into this tiny Moore PE100, you're gonna have 2 desktop speakers that are Amazon Basics, and you're gonna put your dollies in the basket next to you when you need to go put on your guitar. I love that there's a doll head there's a dolly in the basket right directly next to this rig. And this is someone's rig that someone submitted. And this is the most simple possible rig you can possibly think of. I mean, this is even more simple than, you know, something like a MacBook, right? This is monetarily $100 rig, if that. I mean, this is, yeah, respect. If it makes the sound that you want it to make, more power to you. And you know what? Because of that respect, I'm still gonna give this rig 3 out of 5 beards. So this, I get the point of this room, right? This is your room, this is your safe space. You have what looks to be a baritone Gretsch and a nice acoustic guitar. You have a couple of studio monitors to hear what you're doing, but you got nothing in between. So you just got blank wall. And so rather than staring at the blank wall, you are just gonna stare at a JHS pedals poster and call it good. And you know what? I'm okay with it. But put a TV there or something, man. I know you probably don't want to get distracted. And also, that's a very tidy pedal board. Your cable management's pretty good as well. I mean, yeah, your monitors are symmetrical. Hanging straps on the wall is kind of weird, but a lot of people seem to do it, so who am I to judge? I mean, I know the point of these videos is to judge, literally. However, the seat looks comfy. I love the Gretsch. You got your little mixer, got some headphones. Okay. And you even have the cables going from the mixer tucked into the underneath the trim of the wall to get cleanly to the speakers. I noticed that, I see it, and I see you. Real recognize real, all right? To that extent, I'm gonna give you 3.5 out of 5 beards. And here we have my favorite kind of rig, the bedroom rig next to the bed, so you can just kind of wake up and just grab a guitar and just flick on your Line 6. Now, I believe this is the Line 6 DT series amplifier head. Now, the DT50 combo that I did way back at the starting of this channel was one of my favorite amps of all time. I loved that amplifier, and it's still being used today, from what I understand, at a School of Rock in Florida. And the pedal board's tidy. You got a PRS, you got a Gibson, and you got an Epiphone. I'm a fan of Les Pauls. I'm a fan of PRS. You have Nana's little hanging knickknacks behind you. You have the Yamaha THR behind you. You have license plates surrounding the top trim of your room for some reason. That's kind of strange. But you know what? It's charming. I like it. People are gonna hate on the Line 6. These amps ruled. They were so good. And you know what? No hate on that at all. It's a lot of amp for a bedroom, but you know what? I'm still gonna give you a 3.5 out of 5 beards. Yeah, all right. wait, hang on. Before we even get to the guitars, is this a baby crib on the left? Is this like a decommissioned baby crib? Because I see where it hinges and it rocks back and forth. Did baby get kicked out and its room got turned into a jam room? It kind of seems that way, doesn't it? That you put a board over over the crib and you put some monitors and then you're leaning guitars everywhere. You have a laptop with an episode of Or Roast MyRig. I see you. You have a PV combo. You have some weird Where the Wild Things Are things hanging up in the corner. You have an inexpensive Les Paul copy, a Strat copy, and a really crazy Hamer Kramer looking thing. And a place where a baby used to be, apparently. And I'm assuming where the ropes are so it doesn't swing. It doesn't rock anymore, I'm assuming. And a telly, a natural telly with a Hawaiian shirt or a pot leaf or weeds, literal lawn weeds on it. I can't even tell what that is. But nevertheless, what a weird room. I would probably bring a can of a mace with me if I walked in here. This is slightly creepy in a weird way, and I don't know how to describe it. However, your Hamer's cool and your Strat's cool. It reminds me of the dude that used to play those in the Toadies. Weird association, but still, that's what it reminds me of. Nevertheless, this rig gets 2 out of 5 beards for me. And last but not least, we have a dual Gibson Les Paul standard setup with a Rev Generator 120 and a PV Invective 412 cab. I mean, it's a pretty clean setup if I'm not mistaken. I love the Les Paul standard on the left. The Adam Jones Les Paul, for me, he never played standards. He's never played standards. Why did they do, I mean, I get why they did that, right? They wanted money. They wanted the cash, but also they wanted, you know, they wanted a guitar that was associated and looked like Adam's custom to not have a custom price. I get that. However, you do have Canada's best amplifier company, Rev Amps. I think they're the only Canadian amplifier company that I'm aware of. I could be wrong about that. However, PV Invective 412 is kind of a weird choice for me, but if it works for you, it works for you. The generator is obviously an amazing amp. I have one. I've used it a ton on recordings, actually. And yeah, nice rug, but nice guitars. I love that Les Paul standard. Honestly, this rig gets 4.5 out of 5 beers for me. And that does it for this episode of Rate or Roast My Rig. If you have your own rig that you would like to see rated and or roasted, feel free to submit it down below in the description. And with that, you've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.